Hello, I'm Mal Riley, and I just thought I'd pop on today to talk about some of the work I do with couples. Um, um, when I meet couples, I'm often looking at how they communicate together, how they fit together. I call it couples counselling because I think there's a massive element of education that goes into the work that we do together. We don't just rely on you having light bulb moments. My questions are designed to help you understand yourselves better. So I'm going to be looking at things like, how do you argue? Who shuts down? Who blows up? How do you come back together as a couple and repair those ruptures, or do you? Lots of couples know how to fight, but what they're not so good at is knowing how to come back together and repair. I might look at who needs all the power and control in the relationship. Often our histories have us playing out. In order to feel safe, we might need to have a lot of power and control, and if it that may cause problems in terms of rigidity. If someone's really rigid in their process, the other person can get really upset about that. But it's understanding why they need that power and control and allowing them to give it up in their own time. So I'll use an example of my own here. When I got together with my partner, we would argue over how the dishwasher was loaded. Both of us needed to be right. One of the things that we were able to do was be able to realize that it was less important about how the dishwasher was loaded than how we take care of our relationship. So what we can do is honor the difference in the ways that our partners do things. There can also be massive timing issues. Somebody might be really anxious and want the house really tidy, and somebody else may feel that that's less important. And so being able to meet in the middle and find a way that meets for both couples in the relationship is really, really necessary. Otherwise, we just end up in conflict all the time. I find that couples find it really difficult to be vulnerable with each other sometimes, and actually there's lots of ways we put our emotional blocks up to stop people from getting too close to us. So I can see sometimes that couples they project their pain onto the other partner. They may fail to listen very well and say that's your problem, when actually if we care, then it's our problem too, and what can I do to help you with this? And so being able to listen really well, not necessarily to what's being said, but far more important sometimes is what isn't being said. And that's the job of us therapists, to say, I notice you're saying this, but you're doing that, and there's a discourse here. So somebody who keeps saying my partner isn't doing X, Y, and Z, but actually is criticizing, and behind every criticism is an unexpressed wish. So when we can ask people to own their own needs and to ask for them to be met more healthily, then the partner doesn't feel so attacked and is more likely to want to step in and meet that wish or request. You never come home on time can turn into, I would really appreciate it if you were here for dinner. That would mean a lot to me. That person is more likely to hear that request than the criticism that shuts us down because we feel maybe ashamed or we just never get anything right. So when couples come to me, they're often in conflict. They often they may have given up and felt that this is unrepairable. And as a couples therapist, I don't always keep couples together. Sometimes couples separate, but they can separate and have a good ending, or they can fight and argue and have a really rubbish ending. And then there's the children to consider too. So as a family therapist, it might be helping couples to separate and to meet the needs of their children. So there's plenty of work to do when working with families and couples that can really help change the dynamics of their relationship. I often want to reduce conflict, increase good communication and emotional connection and emotional availability, and really also increase play and joyfulness. Esther Perel, whose work I love, says there's 3 reasons couples fight. One is they're looking for a call for intimacy or closer connection. 2, power and control, and 3 is lack of appreciation and validation. So those give us some building blocks to say, what's this argument or discourse about, and what can we do to change it? I'm hoping this is helpful for anyone who's looking for couples therapy. I'm not a neutral therapist. I don't sit there and not take sides. If I hear somebody is attacking a partner, or I'm thinking that's a bit out of line, or you're not really listening, then I will gently invite somebody to pause, maybe to have a think about it and ask, are you reacting here rather than really responding? What might you dig a little bit deeper? And so, yeah, my job really here is about helping couples to manage their emotional states and to really lean into each other to build better, more closer, more connected relationships. And of course, history. We haven't even talked about history. What we've lived through, the dominant stories we have about males, females, about being vulnerable and trust, are often embedded in what we've lived through. So how are we responding to the partner in front of us? Are we being generous with our assumptions of this person? Or have we got a story that is so embedded that we're really not looking for the good in this person? We're looking for everything that we can find that's wrong. That certainly happens. So yeah, if you're looking for couples therapy, counselling, coaching, then I would love to work with you. I won't be everyone's cup of tea, but if you want to have a session to see whether I can be helpful, then I'd love to work with you. Some of the couples I've worked with have said that it's life-changing, and it's life-changing because sometimes they make it through, and sometimes it's life-changing because they realise there's not enough here and they want out. So yeah, however we come together, it's always with compassion and kindness, and to be as effective as we can be with the time we have together. I hope that's given you some ideas of the work I do with my couples and families, because often this work can be about the couple. It can be about parental conflict that is causing problems. It can be about somebody needing all the power. So there's lots of little nuances that make up a couple or a family. I'll stop waffling now. My videos are always unedited and unscripted, straight off the hoof, because I'm not very good at prepping. I wouldn't do them if I had to write it all down, what I was going to say. So it's good enough, I hope so. My name is Mel Riley. I'm an adult, child and family therapist. Take care. Bye.